A celebrity scandal is always a good distraction, and this summer's distraction was particularly needed. But this time, the celebrity in question is a much-beloved figure at the center of what current and former staffers claim was a toxic workplace environment. And after Ellen DeGeneres offered up some humble pie this week, not everyone was so accepting. Anyone looking for relief from the steady stream of bad news about COVID-19 and the political bickering that followed, a meltdown at the popular Ellen DeGeneres show that began with a bombshell BuzzFeed piece was just what the doctor ordered.
New allegations this morning of rampant sexual misconduct.
One current employee and 10 former employees of the Ellen DeGeneres show reveal the alleged toxic work culture.
Warner Media has launched an internal probe.
And so it went. Most employees were quick to say that toxic culture came from 3 executive producers, not Ellen. But they held her accountable nonetheless. DeGeneres offered an apology in writing to her staff in July, but this week she addressed viewers.
I learned that things happened here that never should have happened. I take that very seriously, and I want to say I am so sorry to the people who were affected.
But her opening monologue was also rife with jokes.
Being known as the Be Kind Lady is a tricky position to be in. So let me give you some advice out there. If anybody's thinking of changing their title or giving yourself a nickname, do not go with the Be Kind Lady. Don't do it.
That's advice she should have taken about the joke. Regardless, those 3 executive producers were fired, and DeGeneres has pledged a new beginning, starting with the promotion of her sidekick, DJ Twitch.
Can we get a drum roll? Is that possible? Oh, look at that. My co-executive producer.
But BuzzFeed deserves the biggest drum roll. After all, they got the ball rolling. Okay, Callie, so I'm wondering if you were following this. I know you love a good scandal and some junk TV, but I was a little surprised this got the kind of attention it was. I was also shocked she has 279 employees, and the fact that it rose to this level, apparently a lot of talk shows have this kind of environment. You know, they got the big people at top and then all these minions running around doing who knows what, but I was a little surprised.
It does take a very careful attention from the top, and sometimes that does happen. I actually had done this story early
Really?
with my group of folks who cover LGBTQ issues, because I wondered if it was directed at her because of that. And they were like, nah, and then it blew up after that. So what I think you have now is really an extending of the Me Too movement. There was some stuff going on there that shouldn't have happened around sexual harassment. Certainly there was some racial discrimination that came to the fore. People are feeling a little bit more comfortable, even if at first anonymously, to say what happened because they can see that it will finally get some attention. There are people who said they had been talking about it before. I think it's very important that she elevated Twitch to co-executive producer. He was one who said he was aware and had heard of other people talking about the environment, even though that had not been his experience. So it needed to be taken seriously, and I think that's going to mean a whole different thing in the way that she approaches going forward.
You know, I didn't pay that much attention. I read this story as it was happening over the summer. I've never been a huge Ellen DeGeneres fan, so maybe I'm not the best person to be talking about this. I haven't watched her show for a long time. I always felt she was a phony. And I thought that sort of came out this week with her apology on the air, and also the one she taped earlier in the summer. She said, if I've ever let someone down or if I've ever hurt their feelings, I am so sorry for that. If that's ever the case, I've let myself down and I've hurt myself as well. So I think she made it about herself. I think that either you say you're sorry and take and own up to it and say you're sorry for the pain and problems you've caused, or don't say it at all. I just didn't find her apologies to ring true, and it just didn't ring true with me. But bottom line is, her show's been renewed. She's on the air. We'll see how the ratings go.
Look, when this story first broke, I was thinking to myself, oh, so what's the news here? I lived out in LA for 7 years, the NBC studios. I was on the lot. You'd hear a lot of different things, not only there at NBC, but from my friends across the industry. And I think the reason that these kinds of things happen is because there are a lot of really smart, creative people who are making hit shows and making a lot of money for companies. and everyone kind of puts up with it, right? You always hear, oh man, you don't want to get in the way of that executive producer, or you go over there, boy, it's a snake pit. But there's some really creative people doing great stuff, and so you don't do anything about it. And I think that's a cultural problem that has existed in Hollywood for a long time. And I hope that this kind of story, high profile as it is, may lead to some changes, although I'm not holding my breath on that. As for her apology, I mean, I think it was okay. I think that she should have kept the comedy out of it. Yeah. I know that's what she does. But when you start, this was really a moment for her to come out, be very serious, talk about something that's heavy, important, and then she can move on to the comedy. But don't mix the comedy with the apology.
Well, I think I joined the other men here in saying I've never watched the show in my life. And I also think this will probably blow over pretty quickly unless there are new horror stories that come out moving forward. That said, there's been some talk of, well, if Martha Stewart can come back, why can't Ellen DeGeneres come back? The difference is that being nice was never really part of Martha Stewart's image. She's kind of the ice princess, right? Ellen's whole image is that she's nice. So I think that this goes right to the heart of what her image has been, and that makes it a little more dangerous and more difficult to overcome. But as I said, if there are no further incidents, I don't see why she wouldn't be fine.
I was kind of unfamiliar with the whole "be kind" mantra. I mean, she said it started with that Tyler Clemente, who committed suicide, a gay kid, after being harassed. So she says that's how she adopted it. But I also think, I agree with Mike, there was a little bit of gamesmanship here. I mean, she got good ratings this week, and, I'm not sure. I thought the apology was rather weak.